Are you enjoying this podcast? Do you want more of it? Well, now you can get it. The Year is now on Patreon. And for as little as £3 a month, you can get access to a new weekly bonus episode. Do you want that? Do you want discounts to live show tickets? Do you want early access to public episodes? Well, then go to www.patreon.com/theyearispod and sign up fucking now.
The Year Is with Red and Bobby.
Welcome back to The Year Is podcast, the podcast where every episode, me, comedian Bobby Mair, and my co-host, who has returned, comedian Red Richardson, go back to a year in history. We talk about the weirdest, the most interesting, and the most fucked up things from that year. And the most fucked up thing from this year, I have to say, was 3 weeks without Red.
I know, it's been very hard, but it's good to be back.
Red, I need to know everything. You look tanned. How was Thailand?
It was very good. It was, they had a record bad weather for the first 10 days. They said it was the worst weather they've had on record in 45 years.
Can I just say, you went to Thailand, and you flew there, and then I thought, Red is on his honeymoon, I'll talk to him in 3 weeks. And that's not me not wanting to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's just me thinking someone is on their honeymoon. That you just, when you're on your honeymoon, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You call me the day you arrive in Thailand, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm about to go on stage. You're like, oh, I don't want to bother you. I'm like, no, you're not bothering me. You're just on your honeymoon.
But lots of people said this, but it's like, what you meant to do? Spend the whole time staring at a sunset and smooch. Well, I live with her. I've known her for years. Do you know what I mean?
Then the next day, around the same time, my phone rings. Who's calling me? Red Richardson. Yeah. You were going to call me every day of your honeymoon.
Of course.
Which is adorable. I thought it was sweet, but like, I would feel bad. What if I call you like the one romantic moment you're having with Rosie, and then it's like Bobby's calling, and then she's like, yeah, fine, just take it.
I don't know. There's many hours in the day. I just don't know what you're meant to do. Like, it's just the whole time.
Be in love the whole time.
Yeah, but you're just, you're like riding dolphins and sat by a waterfall. There's loads of hours, and there's a lot of hours for downtime as well. Yeah. And catching up with...
And then you started sending me, like, just screenshots from Twitter, and it just made me so sad that you're in Thailand and on Twitter, and I was just...
Okay, that's because the weather was so bad, so it was grey, and then there was a thunderstorm that lasted about 5 days. And so I still went out on it, went and saw waterfalls and stuff like that. But for sometimes you were just stuck in the room. Yeah. So I would go on Twitter, I'd scroll, read about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. that filled a lot of time.
I feel like you came back recharged.
Yes, I'm ready to go again.
Ready to go. And
it was the same.
Protest
it was
for Johnny.
Yeah. It was like being in England in a sauna for a lot of it, you know?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of... It was very funny. One day we were on the beach and this woman was in floods of tears. And Rosie looked over and was like, oh, she's crying because of the bad weather. I thought she might, like her mum might have died, you know?
Yeah.
And it turns out she was just crying because of the weather. And then this group started with like me, Rosie, these 4 other couples who were just all white people. And they'd all come out to get the sun, and everyone was just complaining about it. And you just see like Thai fishermen like pulling their boats in from a day's hard work.
Of fishing in a storm.
Yeah, and there's these white people going, well, I came out. This one guy said, we came out to see the pink dolphins, and we have not seen any pink dolphins. And it's bad. Like, I'm so bad with tourists in this country. Someone will go, where's this? And you go, I don't know, use Google Maps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in Thailand, it's just white people going up to people going, where is the sun? Up to little 7-year-old boys. Just like, where is the weather? But no, it was good fun. And then the sun came out. Saw a lot of wildlife. Saw a snake, 2 snakes actually. One while I was on the phone to you. On FaceTime.
I remember. And then you tried to show me the snake, and I pretended I saw it, but I didn't.
No, I don't know why you couldn't. It was bright green with black speckles on it. It's called a pit viper.
Yeah?
Yeah, saw that. There was one while I was eating a pizza, slithered along the balcony next to us on the rail, so about 1 meter away from us. I saw it. Reacted in a way that surprised me. I always thought I was more of a coward. I just thought, I hope something doesn't happen that between... where I have to show Rosie that, you know what I mean? Like, just, I've always been scared of how I'd I thought I was a save my own neck guy, whereas actually,
But my gut is that I don't think anything you did in any situation would surprise Rosie.
no, maybe
I don't think
maybe
she's going to
not.
be like, wait. I think she knows who you are.
It puts a dampener on the rest of our lives together if on our honeymoon I see a snake and push her towards
Like
it
Force
and run.
Majeure.
Yeah.
Did you see that movie?
I haven't
Force
seen it,
Majeure?
but I know the plot. Is doesn't he push his kids and runs from the
He
avalanche?
doesn't push his kids up, but there's an avalanche that hits, and he's like on his phone, and then he sees the avalanche coming, and he just runs inside with his phone and leaves his wife and kids.
Yeah. That's going to change your life forever. You know. Oh wait, it's this guy. You know.
Yeah, that's who he
That's
is.
the sort of person.
Your
he is.
husband is a coward.
But I just said, Rosie, be very calm. There's a snake a meter away from us, and she literally jumped backwards through a window into the building. There was a window like this high, so it was, for listeners, about half a meter. So she just jumped back through, and then I carefully backed off. And then this woman, who's obviously a veteran traveller, just came along with a phone and started filming it. And I said to the guy, there's a snake outside. And he was like, cool. Just grabbed a stick and just started hitting it until it went away. So they don't give a shit. They're used to it. Very used to it.
Yeah, it's like if you came up to me and said, there's some flies outside. I'd be like,
yeah. Oh,
no,
sorry.
we better get rid of the flies.
Yeah, his face was like, what do you mean? Who cares?
Yeah, they live here.
Yeah. I saw a monitor lizard. It was one of the grossest. We were walking. So we found there's this beach, and it was an amazing beach, but loads of deserted hostels, like hotels and hostels.
Did you see any turtles?
Yeah, I saw one.
Oh.
But there was this deserted British hotel called the Aesthetic, and it was the grossest thing I'm glad it's not open. It looks like a mass murder's just happened there, but the pool has been
maybe
left.
it did.
Look, yeah.
Did you ask why it closed?
No, there's no one there. It's fucking creepy. The pool's been closed and it's black, so it's like just the water's like black, polluted, just garbage. And it's called the Aesthetic, and they have a giant Great Britain flag, and then on the bar was the Gollywog dolls. You know those racist dolls from the 30s. So there's like 5 of them on the bar. It was so creepy, completely deserted.
I just like the idea that as like time went on, less and less people were going to this hotel because of their racist dolls that made people uncomfortable. And then they were like, we just can't figure out why it's dropping. And then the thing finally closed. Everyone loses their jobs, and they're like, we'll leave the dolls. We've always loved the dolls.
Yeah, leave the dolls. Yeah, they're like, COVID really ruined our business, actually.
I think it might have been the racist dolls.
But they were right. So there's this swamp, and I just looked to my left, and this monitor lizard just slithered out of it, massive, like 1.5 meters.
But like a kimono dragon kind of thing?
They're like, so they're not dead. They bite, but it'll be like a dog biting. So their saliva's still deadly, but Komodo dragons are bigger and more aggressive.
Their saliva is deadly, though. Could kill you.
Well, yeah, it's poisonous because they're just so disgusting, and it literally was living in this like polluted swamp.
I'm looking at a picture of a Mondo lizard.
It was like a ghetto dinosaur.
Oh, they look cool. Yeah, they're like dinosaurs.
Yeah. It was.
They're like a bit more snake.
Seeing one close up is quite scary.
So they're poisonous to us.
Yeah, if they bite
But maybe
us.
are we poisonous to them? How we don't know what our saliva does to them. I want to spit in their mouth and see what happens.
Anyway. So there's this island called Koh Tao, but the British press have called it Death Island. I was going to go there.
That's where you were? No.
I didn't go there. I was going to, and then I read an article about how it's called Death Island. I thought, nah, I'm all right. Thank you. Loads of British people have died there in mysterious circumstances. So a British couple died there in 2014. Attacked on the beach, horrible, like brutal murder, and 2 Burmese workers went to prison for it.
It's always the poor people from Myanmar.
Yeah.
Because like when I was in Thailand, I was in the south, which is a different, and I'm at this hotel, and the guy on the desk is from Myanmar, and in Thailand they get these immigrants over from Myanmar, and they work them to the bone. This guy in the hotel I stayed at was working 24-hour shifts. And then he would sleep in the hotel, had a room in the hotel they let him stay in, I'm sure with like other people.
Oh, it would have
and
been a broom cupboard or something.
Come back down and work another 24-hour shift.
It's horrific, yeah. It's not. And so these guys, like, because they got no rights, because they're usually legally there. They got no rights. But so the rumor is it's like this mafia family who live out there, and it's the nasty son who did it. And everyone thinks that because they've got people from this DNA expert from Australia flew in, was like, there's no way it's their DNA. They didn't do it. So loads of people think they didn't do it, and there's not enough evidence to say they did do it, but they're in prison, so they were going to get executed, and now they've been pardoned by the king, so it's just life in jail. Fucking brutal. But and so loads of British people. A man committed suicide there recently, a British man, with his hands tied behind his back.
You know, that's not usually how people do it.
He hung himself with his hands tied behind his back.
It's rare.
Yeah, yeah. And then so another lady.
Maybe he did it though just to stop himself, so he didn't change his mind last minute.
Well, that's the point. Yeah, that is a good point. I didn't think of that. I don't know, but so that's happened like 4 times with suicides.
Unlikely though.
Yeah, and this other lady, like, so all these parents and these people are like going, you covered it up. They think the government had completely covered it up because they don't want to ruin the image of and ruin tourism. This lady died in the woods, committed suicide in the woods, and they only found her body because they kept seeing a monitor lizard going back and forth from there, and it half-eaten her body. Disgusting and tragic. But yeah, so didn't go there. Decided against it. It's got a population of 2,000 people, and about 14 Western tourists have died since 2014.
Yeah, I think there's somebody on that island.
Something's going on. Do you know what I mean? It's not, and it looks nice, but it's also like, And then they go, oh, it's great here. There's bull sharks. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Not coming. Not coming at all. But no, Thai people are amazing, really nice. I was a big hit out there, and I'm not sure if it was the stand-up or the podcast they're aware of, but every time they saw me, they'd bow like that. And I thought, wow.
No, but what really happened? They all called you fat. Isn't that what
No,
happened?
a few people called me fat, but they were haters. And the king, they're in jail now.
I don't think that's true.
I framed them for the murder. Yeah, they're in jail. No, they're very nice, but yeah, they all bowed to me, which I've never had before.
Isn't that just how they say hello?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just me. I think they were big Year Is fans. Yeah, no, it was great. A lot of creepy British people, men.
On their own?
Yes, because the women in Thailand have a real attraction to, like, overweight 50-year-old white men.
That's, yeah, everyone has their thing, and women in countries where they, struggle to provide for themselves, they just like fat old white guys.
They like fat white guys.
That's their thing.
The funny thing about a sex tourist is they're always out of shape, and they're also, if they're from England...
The term sex tourist seems derogatory. Like,
what would you call them?
I don't know. It just feels like you're a sex tourist. It's
they're there for other things. It's not just the sex.
Yeah, I mean...
He went snorkeling yesterday.
It's probably an hour of their day.
Yeah, no, I know what
you can't have sex more than an hour a day.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
what else?
He does other stuff.
Yeah. An hour a day in Thailand. I'm probably, when I was there, like... looking at my phone. I'm not a phone tourist.
No, that's true. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
just
Johnny Depp, Amber Heard tourist.
Yeah.
But no, it's just funny watching a man with a backpack in my own 40-degree heat, humidity, trying to find sex while sweating. But there's a lot of that. The Thai women are really they are very attracted to the older Western men.
You might not be old enough for them.
No, I won't be. I don't think.
Do they even look at you?
No, they did shout. Like when you go past, they shout.
Again, what would they shout?
Like, come here, sexy. And I'm not sure. Maybe
it might have been Rosie. They might have just wanted Rosie.
No,
Rosie has an energy that it reminds me of
I think it
Thai
was
people.
It was me. I think for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I think probably Year Is fans. You know?
Yeah. That's actually never been any of your nicknames on this podcast, though. Sexy, that wouldn't be. No one's ever called you sexy on the podcast.
No, but people can write in and say it if they want. I won't have any problem with it.
That's fair.
But they have like a Patreon system with sex, so they like have sex and then you can. I'm joking. There's a lot of prostitution, which is not good. But if they're enjoying themselves, who am I to stop the party?
Well, how would you?
I don't know.
How would you go into... Excuse me, I don't think you should be doing this.
Yeah. You have to stop now.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, so many grim... Koh Samui drove through a red light district, and you just see a lot of, like, I saw one guy just sat and he had like 8 women around him and he's just buying everyone drinks. It's like... But then you go, they're probably going to get taken for like £1,000 that night, and fair enough to them.
Yeah.
You know, he's a mug and they're, up for his money. So if it works like that, then I don't know. I'm sure there's a darker side.
Like what?
I don't know.
Like what, Red?
Yeah, there's,
So since you've been away and I've been carrying this podcast for
Mm-hmm.
weeks.
Yep.
And we had to do it remotely before that.
I know, that was shit.
Yeah, you torpedoed the progress of the podcast.
I know, I stalled and I left, and Jordan left the Chicago Bulls. Is how it felt to the listeners.
Maybe more Dennis Rodman.
Okay, he was still cool.
He was cool. He was a better player than you'd think by looking at him.
Yeah, and the way he behaves off the court.
Yes.
So,
but Rodman has returned.
Yep.
Even though
back from
people
North
didn't
Korea.
think he would. Yeah, he's back from North Korea.
That's really where I've been. I use Thailand as an excuse. Yeah.
And so I let you do all the research this week.
You let me. You didn't do any.
You told me I've made a document. I've done the research.
No, I said I've got a document you can add to it, but don't worry, I've got enough. I've been so missing the pod that I've been just thirsty to get back to it, and so I'm.
I feel like the word thirsty does have a sexual connotation.
I do.
I'm thirsty
with
for
the same
pod.
enthusiasm as an overweight man from Wigan in the red light district in Koh Samui. I've pursued information for this week's episode on the year 1969.
Okay.
Yeah, I had the song stuck in my head, and I thought, why not?
What song is that?
The Summer of '69.
Oh, they blare that in Thailand. They love that song in Thailand.
All the time. They play that, Justin Bieber. What else? Made loads of Justin Bieber. Absolutely loads.
Did you do any drugs when you were out there?
No. Oh, I did ayahuasca with a Buddhist monk.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You did not do ayahuasca.
I did. We went to the top of a mountain. He said, "You look like a special person." And
is a there's no way this is true.
We lit a bonfire, and he sprinkled magic dust into the bonfire, and he looked into it. He was trying to see my future, and he said, "I can see that there's a mangy fox and a boiled egg holding you back from becoming a superstar." And I was trying to work out what he was talking about, and then it became clear it's you and Jody.
Well, guess what? While you were gone, I also did ayahuasca.
Okay, what did you see when you did it?
Well, I went to the top of Mount Bristol.
Mount Bristol.
And there was a white guy with dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And he was burning a couch.
Yeah.
And he looked into the burning couch. He looked into the burning couch and he said, "Red's a fat fuck." So there.
Fair enough. Okay, well, my trip sounds a bit more spiritual than yours.
No, mine was very spiritual, actually.
Never mind. The amount of white guys with dreadlocks still out there. Like, you'd see a guy, sorry, just quickly before we go to 69, but you'd see someone in, like, what's the thing? Like a toga, but it's not. It's like a...
Yeah, okay.
I know an Asian toga. And you just see some guy, and they're, like, man or woman, but their skin was, like, completely wrinkled, like Westerners who'd, like...
They've just been in the sun a long time.
But they've been there for, it's like, Alan, you need to go home. You know what I mean? Like, fucking hell.
Isn't it funny, though, where if people immigrate here, obviously our attitude is like, fucking great, so happy here.
Yeah.
But whenever white people go to Thailand, we're like, you fucking loser.
Oh, but because it's just, they get into it.
Well,
you know
they
what I mean?
go there because it's the only place, like, an average income here, they seem rich. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
yes.
like they go there because now it seems like they're succeeding. We all know.
Yeah. And what is funny is a lot of them go and they all have this, like, this very hippie-ish, and they're like, yeah, I just hate capitalism and the rat race, so I moved here. And then they're like, it's so annoying, it's like a quid a beer now. It's like, no, you didn't move here because you hate you moved here because you're Bill Gates here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
also, this is, man, if there's anything Thailand is, it's capitalism.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Apparently they have a saying for China and Thailand, I think they call them LFH or something, it's losers from home. And that's what they call white men who go to Asian countries to get better, like, more attractive women and live a better life. But anyway, so 69 was also a very spiritual year. The final year of the 60s, not just in number, but just the sort of, they say the vibe died that year. It was over. But Woodstock was in 1969, the festival.
I wouldn't have went.
I wouldn't have gone either. I don't like festivals.
I'm glad we agree.
Yeah, too many people.
I could have been next door.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, guys, the biggest music festival that's ever happened is happening.
Yeah.
Who was there?
Jimi Hendrix, loads of people. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Joan Baez was there, all these people.
Did you ever heard CCR's most famous song?
Which one? I see. No, is that them? I can't remember.
No, it's I Wanna Know, have you ever seen the rain?
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
like the idea that you sat in Thailand when it rained for a week and that song played and just a single tear would roll down your face.
I came to see pink dolphins. But, they were there. I found out, so a baby was, 2 births were recorded at the event. One in a car, caught in traffic, and another in a hospital after an airlift by a helicopter. Who the fuck goes to Woodstock 9 months pregnant, 8 months, whatever?
I think it's like a different attitude, you know? You're free.
Well, it's like, fuck it.
You fuck it. I'm a hippie.
I bet that kid became a health and safety inspector.
Yeah, he just went the other way.
Excuse me, your balcony is just high vis and just stopping people doing shit when they're having fun. Yeah, but that's not good. And then there was also 4 miscarriages. Again, I think they weren't. That sounds like an abortion to me. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
It kind of sounds like it was intentional.
I doubt it.
Mm.
But what I would say is I believe those women.
Well, if I was pregnant and I couldn't get an abortion, which, in America, those morons are doing again, I would go to a field with 90,000 smashed people, all dancing, and just hope for the best.
I don't know if you would.
Well, that seems like a way of... Anyway, what I'm saying is, just don't go to a festival when you're that pregnant, please. Unless, of course, you want to get rid of it.
Wow. Red Richardson telling women what they should do with their bodies.
I'm just advising.
You're just saying what women should do with their bodies. That's good, Red.
So,
any other rules for women this week? Since you
no,
came back from Thailand?
Just that one. Yeah, it's very different out there. My views have changed.
Yeah.
No, none of that. I just don't know why you'd go. Actually, my mum went to a Motorhead concert when she was pregnant with me. So maybe she was trying to kill me.
Motorhead.
Yeah.
Does your mom like Motorhead?
No, my dad was big into Motorhead. So
okay.
They came along. I think she hoped someone would crash into her.
What's Motorhead's most popular song?
Well, the most famous is the Ace of Spades, isn't it?
Yeah, I used to play that when I did Edinburgh Festival one year. I would play that song.
Yeah, it's a good.
Before I went on, it's
good
really
pump
catchy.
you up music. Yeah. So Woodstock was Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner and stuff like that with his teeth.
Was Janice Joplin dead by then? I'll see when she.
I think she died in like 71 or something. Jody, you might know. Maybe pull that one up, Jody.
I'm gonna see because you didn't give me a full list. I want to see who was at Woodstock.
So the Beatles were offered Woodstock, and guess what? They said they'd only come under the condition the Plastic Ono Band would be able to play. Yet their request was denied. That's how bad Yoko Ono's music is. The Beatles say, we'll come if she can do a song. And they go, no. The best band of all time, we will still not tolerate.
Maybe, were they still, I guess, obviously they're respected now. That would have been like the end of the 60s. I guess they would have still been respected.
Massive. Biggest band in the world.
Yeah.
So they just, the owner obviously was just like, I'm sorry. I would love you to be here. We could have 12 of the best songs ever, but I'm not sacrificing. Yeah, no one needs to sit through that. Joe Cocker was there. The famous, if everyone's seen it on YouTube, there's a video of him singing Little Help from My Friends when he's absolutely smashed, but his voice is incredible. Richie Havens, don't know who that is. Probably very good. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. The New York Times...
Crosby, Stills, and Nash is great.
Yeah, they're good.
And Young, right? Was Young with them by then?
I don't know.
Does it say?
It says and Young.
I love Neil Young.
Yeah, he was there.
Love him. He,
Oh, he's quit Spotify because of our...
No, but then I went on Spotify the other day.
He's scared of our pod, wasn't he?
Look, I can go on Spotify right now. Neil Young's on Spotify.
Of course he is.
No, but like... Listen, I don't even, whatever, you didn't like Joe Rogan, so you didn't want to be on Spotify. Okay. But then he's on Spotify.
Of course.
So he did this big announcement like, I'm taking my music off Spotify. But if I type in Neil Young into Spotify right now, It says artist Neil Young, and I can listen to his music. So what is he talking about?
Yeah, that's. Well, he's grandstanding, and then a business manager went, "Hey, you're doing that. That's not gonna, you'll lose out on this X amount of money." He went, "Oh, okay. Well, the point was good until you mentioned the losing the money bit."
Yeah.
Which is usually the case. So the New York Times hated hippies, and they ran an editorial entitled "Nightmare in the Catskills." The dreams of marijuana and rock music that drew 300,000 fans and hippies to the Catskills had little more sanity than the impulses that drive the lemmings to march their deaths in the sea. They ended in a nightmare.
Red, you would have written this article when you read about the pregnant women going. This is totally you. You're saying it like it's a crazy article. This is just what you said.
It's legalized abortion to rock music. What kind of culture is it that can produce such a colossal mess? From the New York Times. They weren't happy with it at all. The festival was remarkably peaceful given the number of people, conditions involved. There was 2 recorded fatalities, one from insulin usage, silly, and another. Is insulin's just for diabetes, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but diabetes, you can die of diabetes.
But so they were just jacking up on insulin. Was that recreational? I don't think get you. No.
No, he might have just done the wrong dose, or he might have just had a diabetic fit.
He ate too much sugar and then
Janice Joplin was at Woodstock.
Yeah.
Great. I love Janice Joplin. You like Janice Joplin?
Yeah, brilliant. Mercedes-Benz.
I always think the fact that Janice Joplin, you look at pictures of her, she looks like 50 and she was 27 when she died.
They all did though back then. You look at them and you're like, what the fuck?
They fucking lived.
Yeah. When they're like 20 years old, they look like 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
No face cream. Another person died. This is quite bad.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so he was passed out in a field.
I feel like you're not going to say an entertaining thing.
He passed out in a field and a tractor ran over him.
Okay, well that's sad.
Why was there a tractor there?
Because it's in a farmer's field.
And the problem is, if that was like your dad or something, it's kind of such a story that no one's ever going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my dad died. How? He was run over by a tractor while sleeping at Woodstock Festival.
Well, it is sad.
It is sad. Of course it is. But
yeah, I think
maybe he was there like 3 days later. Like, when was the tractor moving about? But maybe to transport people.
Well, of all the reasons, it's not. That can't be the reason, Red. A tractor holds like 2 people.
In the link box.
There's like 3. Yeah, there's like 300,000 people there. Like, guys, we're gonna transport you.
It was a mobile abortion tractor.
What are you talking about?
Okay, go on. But what the fuck? What was the tractor doing there? Picking up grain?
Probably just doing tractor shit because it's a farm, right?
Well, Jimi Hendrix wanted some grain before he went on. It was in his rider.
Yeah, I'd like my own silo of grain for the upcoming winter to make sure I get through it.
But there was 742 drug overdoses, which 300,000 people is not too bad, but they're still quite bad.
That's 1 in 500.
Yeah,
or 1 in 300 and a bit. That's fine.
Yeah, it's still quite a lot. Given
when you say overdoses, like not died.
No, but they just all OD'd.
Yeah.
742 people OD'd.
What does even OD'd mean? They have to go to the hospital?
Yeah, it means you nearly died.
But that was when, people weren't like, the 60s were great because everyone's doing drugs with no understanding of the consequences of it.
They were clean.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Because even if I ever went back now and did coke, it would be marred by the knowledge of how it's about to ruin my life.
Yeah.
Imagine doing coke, but having no idea it will ever be bad.
Yeah.
That's the perfect high.
Well, heroin and you're just like,
this feels great. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
It's like when Oxy first came out. Because I watched that documentary. What's it called? No, not documentary. The TV show about Oxy. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
With Michael Keaton. It's called. I'm gonna look it up. Oh, Dope Sick. It was on Disney Plus, and it was about the opioid epidemic in America. And when Oxy came out, somehow they convinced the FDA. Well, they convinced the FDA by bribing people that Oxy was just this great pain relief that was not addictive. So people come and be like, I have a sore back. And then they'd be given Oxy and they'd be like, I don't have a sore back anymore.
Okay.
They weren't like they were drug addicts. They were just like people with chronic pain because it was always like, it was rural, small towns.
Yeah.
And where they started the push. And these people would start taking their oxy, and they would just get hooked without knowing. It wasn't like a choice. They were just hooked on oxy, and now they're physically addicted to this drug. And then what would happen is oxy was expensive, so after a while, they'd switch to heroin. So you go from being a person with a normal fucking life, 6 months later, you're like under a bridge injecting heroin, and you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
Don't hurt your back.
Yeah,
it's the message.
Don't take oxy.
Yeah, that's fucked. Yeah, there's there's a huge opioid crisis in America. And that fentanyl is killing everyone.
Yeah.
The Wire guy took it. What's he called? Great actor. Can't remember.
Michael K. Williams.
Yeah,
he was
brilliant.
fucking incredible.
You know, he was also in The Sopranos briefly.
And Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah,
he's
brilliant.
Great. He's great.
Yeah. No, he's brilliant. And those comics in America took it. 3 of them died.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast on that, and she said they're all doing coke. She did like half a line, and woke up at like this is like 6 a.m. and woke up at 12 the next night and couldn't move.
Just,
yeah, and it's just horrendous. And thought all like her mates were asleep and stuff like that. And then 3 of them died, and she nearly died. Or just but what? That's just fucking crazy.
The Sackler family, they were the ones pushing
Mm-hmm.
the opioids,
Mm-hmm.
and what they loved was selling drugs to people that didn't need them,
Nice.
and getting them hooked and
Yeah.
sucking all their will to live out of them, and philanthropy.
That's
That
what
was
we
their
do
other
with this podcast.
their other
People who don't want history.
their other favorite thing was philanthropy.
Yeah.
So that's how they kind of like, they'd call it like what's it called, like where it's like wash it, like
Wash your money. Give do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bank,
yeah.
Give the money. Like the Clinton Foundation.
that's a great foundation, helps people everywhere.
Yes.
A new sponsor of this podcast,
The
actually.
Clinton Foundation sponsors.
That would be great. Guys, this podcast is brought to you by the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah. Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. Chelsea, it was great to see you this weekend, just want to say.
Yeah,
Love
thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I didn't think your husband would let me and you do that while he watched, but I appreciate it. That'd be really funny having a story about fucking Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah, well, someone does have that.
I
story.
know.
I'm sure they do. And we want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear
it. Can you imagine doing a Woodstock now with like fentanyl and with the fucking disaster? 300,000 people doing drugs.
I know.
It'd be like just like a mass suicide, group suicide. It'd be like Lizzo singing one of her upbeat songs whilst people are just dying in the crowd.
Yeah. But in Dopesick, though, so they love philanthropy, and by now everyone knows what the Sacklers did, and they're trying to claw as much money back from them as they can. And so they've taken their name off of all the museums and stuff, but a few still have their name on it. And in Dulwich, which is like really close to here, there's a Sackler wing at one of the museums, some art gallery thing, and it's still like on the sign it says Sackler wing, and it's like their name is poison, like they're a drug cartel family.
How's it spelled?
Sackler.
Oh, because Sackler is a nice pesto brand.
Well, that's a different.
Yeah.
I love pesto also.
Yeah,
a good pesto can make everything better.
Of course, it's so easy. Just smash it straight.
Yeah,
on.
it's like pesto's great because it makes you think you're a cook.
Do you think maybe they've moved into pesto and they just took out a K?
I'd be fine with that.
They love opioids and pesto.
Yeah. So this wing, I really want someone to deface the sign.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet.
Well, don't say it publicly, maybe, because if they do,
No, I'm not saying I would not.
You're inciting.
I would not like endorse. I just think it'd be crazy if someone went to Dulwich and defaced the Sackler wing of the picture gallery, whatever it's called. You'll know what it's called. The fucking
You'll
place
find it
in Dulwich that has the family name that killed millions, if not, well, maybe not millions, maybe hundreds of thousands, but a lot of people who who weren't like recreational drug users, just normal people.
Yeah.
Whose lives were destroyed by Oxycontin. And it would just be interesting if somebody defaced it. Maybe like, I don't know what they could do.
Just draw a cock on it and write, fuck you. And if they did that hypothetically, like sending a picture to the pod.
Yeah, from an anonymous email, but that didn't work for Julian
Allegedly.
Assange. Actually,
No.
he tried that whole anonymous email thing, and now he's actually.
What did he just set up a Hotmail?
I don't know what he
It's
did,
not
but
me.
well, no, he was the one releasing it, so
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"I'm in charge of WikiLeaks," and it's like, buddy, you shouldn't say that you're in charge either.
No, stop shitting in the Ecuadorian embassy. We can't do that anymore. He's out.
That might have been. We don't know what's true.
Well.
It's a fun rumor, but he's gonna get sent to America now. That's not good.
But I've I've never looked at something like that and gone. I've never just Glastonbury's never ever appealed to me at all. I went to WOMAD, a festival in Reading. It was shit. The toilets are the most disgusting thing, and I'm really bad with stuff. I need clean stuff, and the toilets are hideous.
I've been to quite a few festivals. Never Glastonbury. Always seems like a lot of people, but
Mm.
I don't love it. I don't love because if it's either always too hot or too cold, and you're sleeping in a tent. So it's either too cold and then you wake up freezing, and that's horrible, or it's too hot and you wake up and every drop of water has been sucked out of your body and your mouth is dry and you're just looking for a bottle of water and there's nothing there.
Yeah, you got queue for everything, and then there's 300,000 people watching Coldplay. It's not worth it, and I wouldn't have gone to Woodstock even if someone had given me a free ticket. I'd say no.
No, I would say I'm
fucked.
busy, but
Yeah.
send me the. I'd say at that time send me the record, and I love listening.
Well, I've listened to it. I watched on YouTube. Good time.
I love listening
At
to.
home.
I love listening to Hendrix.
Yeah.
Just I don't think I need other people there for me and Hendrix to have a good time.
No, that's the great thing about computers. You just don't have to be there anymore. You can just sort of. I watch the Woodstock videos, and it's great from the sofa, and that's all you need. You don't have to watch 742 people OD around you.
Oh, it's just because you left the light on, Jody. Yeah, you can turn it off if you want.
What's happened?
Jody left the light on. We can keep going. It's okay. Jody, just turn the light off.
It's just a bit annoying.
Because it flashes. Yeah,
Mm.
it's okay.
In the summer of
We'll just keep going,
61.
Jody. What else? Would you really? But what if, Red, the thing is, you're saying you wouldn't go to Woodstock, right?
Not a chance.
Wrong 'cause it just completely changes. But
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. We can just say, we'll leave this in the podcast. You turned off if it looks better, Jody. No one cares.
Jody,
Jody, that people will know that you turned the light off. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think whatever professional veneer we think we have, it's gone.
It's not happening. It's absolutely fine.
The lights are now off in the room.
Oh.
But
yeah.
you say you wouldn't go to Woodstock, but
Mhm.
you're forgetting the main reason any young man would do anything.
Mm.
So some girl who's like, "Hey Red, do you want to go to Woodstock with me?"
They spoke like that. I definitely wouldn't.
No, but imagine this
sounds
is
like a creepy dead girl.
Okay. Imagine this is the sexiest voice you've ever heard. So don't listen to my voice. Just imagine it's really sexy. Okay, so
Okay.
you're you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 1969, and you look the exact same way you do now because you look like you're from the 60s.
You know why I wouldn't be there? Because I'd be in Vietnam.
No, that's not true. You'd sprain your finger to dodge the draft.
Me and Trump.
You and Trump, yeah. So you're at Woodstock, and me, I'm the gorgeous girl,
Mm.
and I really want you to come with me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's role play this.
Okay.
Hi, Red. I've always liked you, and this weekend I got some tickets to Woodstock.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have. It's the giant hippie festival.
No, it's not just hippies. It's really fun people like us, like young people who just need adventure and maybe just want to go somewhere where they're not being watched by their parents
This
all
is
the
so
time.
disturbing. What are we doing? I'm not role-playing you being a 17-year-old girl that I'm going to sleep with in a field with 300,000 people watching.
I know you're a lot older than
Bobby,
me, but
stop it, please.
it's
horrible.
1969 and no one thinks it's wrong yet.
Oh my
We'll
God.
just be judged quite harshly in 50 years for me being 17 and you being... How old are you again? Are you 25?
I'm 30. What, in real life or in this horrible fantasy?
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh my God! I thought you were 25!
Mm.
That's okay, though.
Oh, Bobby, stop it. This is horrible. Someone's probably
No one
jacking
will
off to
judge
this.
us for 40 years.
For God's sake.
Actually, you'll know it's wrong now, but
There's
still do
old
it.
men in Thailand who'd be put off by this.
I'm
and
a
they've seen a
sexy
lot.
teen from the 60s.
Oh God, no, I wouldn't want to go. And if I did, we'd probably get run over by a tractor whilst I'm getting a traumatic blowjob from you in a field.
Red, I've never done this before.
Oh, Bobby, please stop it. It's disturbing.
How do I do it?
Just get out of the voice. Okay. It's so horrible. Right, let's move on. 1969, Australian media baron Rupert Murdoch. That's a name we all know of. Purchases the largest selling British Sunday newspaper, The News of the World. And how did that fucking turn out? Well for him for about 40 years, and then they all got done for the phone hacking. And the paper ceases to exist.
What was really the big deal about the phone hacking?
It's illegal, and they listen to people, and like some people went mad. Paul Gascoigne, the footballer, he was getting tapped. His phone was getting tapped, and things would appear in the papers that he just said to his family, and it estranged him from his family and stuff because he thought they were selling stories about him. So it really fucked up people's lives.
So when you say phone hacking, could they just listen to the voicemails?
No, I think it was voicemails or calls. I don't know. I think they could listen into your calls.
Oh, I thought it was that they were hacking the voicemails.
No, I think it was calls as well. I'm pretty sure.
Well, we got to look that up because
And you look it up. I don't care what they're going to do. Sue me. They're done. It's over. They don't exist. And then there was the horrible thing with the girl who died, who got murdered. Do you remember that? Millie Dowler. They hacked. They turned her phone on to try and so the parents thought that her phone had turned on again, so she might still be alive. 2 days after she died, it would have been murdered, and so just really.
And nobody went to jail.
Who went to jail? Andy Coulson went to jail. Or did he go to jail? A few people went to jail.
Whoever Andy Coulson is, I feel like he was nowhere near the top.
No, Rebecca Brooks went to jail.
Did she go to jail?
No, she didn't. Sorry, she didn't go to jail. She didn't go to jail at all. She got fired, and that was it. She got fired from a paper that wasn't operating anymore. So it was just a classic Murdoch horrible empire.
I like Murdoch, and I
Do you?
Well, Red. I think what you realize is he owns Fox.
He owns Fox. He owns Sky.
But he doesn't own Sky. He doesn't own Sky like.
Yeah, he owns
Does
Sky.
he still own Sky?
Murdoch owns Sky.
Like Sky, all the TV.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Murdoch is Sky.
I thought Capcom bought it.
Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was Murdoch. Maybe recently they bought it. I thought Murdoch owned Sky. Pretty sure. Google it. But do you know his ex, Wendy Deng, has slept with him, Tony Blair, and Vladimir Putin?
Allegedly.
Well.
Red, these are the kind of people you don't say.
Does
Allegedly.
She either has the worst taste in men she definitely has the worst taste in men, but she's either a terrible judge of character or she's turned on by pure evil. And I think it's the latter because she looks nasty. I did a bit of digging in her history.
Red, you didn't dig. You just Googled Wendy Dang.
No. I did some digging. A lot of late nights with torches
Here's the
in,
thing, though,
in
like,
libraries. that
Everyone's
closed.
like, Wendy Dang, what's wrong with her? It's like she likes power.
Loves power.
Oh, my God. Murdoch, Blair. The Putin, I feel like, may have just been a rumor.
That's real. This is in the Daily Mail in 2016. I looked at it today. It's real.
Yeah, but
She denies it. But
is
you
the
would.
Daily Mail Murdoch?
I deny
Is the
fucking
Daily
Putin.
Mail Murdoch? No. But I mean, come on.
No, it's not Murdoch. But Murdoch apparently spread rumors that she was a Chinese spy after the
good rumor.
divorce because he was very annoyed. But so she moved to America. She got taken in by a family. She started shagging the guy who'd taken her in, ruined his marriage, married him, got a green card, left him for a man her own age straight away. And then I think left him for Murdoch. Then started sleeping with Tony Blair. They had that whole thing when they were playing tennis on the island, and she wrote the whole thing about how good he looks in shorts. Disgusting. And then Tony wasn't he's retired. I think she likes him to be active. So then she had to go and bone Putin. In 2016, so 2 years after the first Ukraine thing, that's probably what first whet her appetite.
I gotta say,
Mm-hmm.
the way you just described her ascent into being a rich woman, very impressive.
It is. I mean, yeah.
To come from nothing and just fuck your way to the top is great. She might have a career too. What's her career?
I think she invests like Murdoch's money, and I think she's done it quite well. There's something about. I think
she sounds like a shrewd fucking woman.
Well, she knows what she's doing.
I'm not saying politically I probably agree with Wendy Dang, but I'm impressed.
Yeah, she like invests money, but I think she got billions in the divorce, so she kind of got that, you know, like that's her thing, and with that you can kind of do what you want.
Oh man, how many times did she have to do it? That's the question. You know, how many times did she have to
sleep with Rupert?
You know, the salamander.
Who would you this is a game. Shag, marry, kill, Murdoch, Blair, or Putin?
The honest Shag is Vladimir Putin.
Of course, I hate to say. I know everything that's going on is bad,
but
horrible. But
out of the three of them, and Putin, I just want to.
Of course.
I feel like he'd be the best.
Yeah, I'd kill Tony Blair and I'd marry Murdoch because Murdoch's going to die soon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And if he tries to have sex with you, just walk to the other side of the room. He's fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, bye.
I'm just not in the mood. I'm not in the mood.
You just take 3 steps back and he just falls over on the floor.
I don't feel like it
tonight. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely in that order. Pretty grim, but.
Wonder what Tony's up to now. I love it. Tony always just comes in and says, "Here's what I think the Labour Party should do." And you're
shut the fuck up.
All right, Tony, great.
So many people, and then Alistair Campbell as well. Now as a podcast, more people listen to Alistair Campbell's podcast than ours.
That makes sense, though.
Why?
He's a charming guy. He convinced people to go to Iraq.
He's responsible for the murder of millions of people.
Not solely. He's partly responsible.
Yes.
Well, we're people who voted for that. We're all partly responsible.
No.
He's more responsible. I met him once. Charming guy.
Of course he
really charming guy.
Goebbels was
we were on Russia
well.
Today together. I bet he doesn't say that on his podcast.
Yeah, I bet he doesn't.
I bet he doesn't talk about when he took the money from Russia Today.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk about Iraq either. Oh God, that George Bush video.
I can't. That George Bush video is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's beyond parody. I can't believe it exists.
Fill him in.
Here's my question to you, because for those that don't know, there's a video where George Bush, probably everyone's seen it, George Bush is talking about Putin and the war in Ukraine and what an atrocity it is. And when he's supposed to say Ukraine about 40 seconds in, he says Iraq. And then he goes, oh, I mean Ukraine.
He goes, the illegal invasion of Iraq. I mean Ukraine.
And then he smiles and goes, Iraq too.
Ooh, but what? I thought
but he
knows.
Yeah. It's kind of, part of it made me wonder, because it feels so choreographed, if that was his way.
Of saying sorry.
Of it not, well, it's not a sorry.
No, it's definitely
because he laughs about it right after he says it. But of admitting it, of kind of, that was, because he would never do, George Bush wouldn't criticize Trump, but he criticized him as much as an ex-Republican president
of course.
would criticize a person running for president, where he would say things like, he would skirt around the issue, but kind of in his own way make it clear to anyone who still respected him that he would not vote for Trump. He was not going to vote for Trump. Yeah. And the funny part is, it's like, well, your policies killed way
more people. I think if you actually weigh it up, way worse. Worse.
But Trump was just rude.
Trump was rude. Trump's thing was he displeased the middle class. You know, this is not how you talk and act.
He was like overtly racist, and he was overtly racist and rude. Whereas it's like, no, we want someone who's polite and systemically racist.
That also,
like
it's like Obama. It's like, does mic drop things, is media savvy, great face, great voice, very articulate.
Just fucking drone strikes.
And then just drone striking the Middle East whilst like fist pumping Beyonce at the White House. And everyone's like, he's so cool.
It's hard to not just think he's
Trump
cool.
Trump just upset people, you know? That's the thing.
And he was. I mean, the way he...
He's terrible, but Bush is fucking worse, you know? Yeah. I think, anyway. But maybe Trump, given another 4 years, God knows what he could have gone up to.
Well, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's like... I mean, maybe it's an overbeaten topic and you don't want us to talk about it, but I do think it's funny when everyone's like, it was wrong for all the social media companies to ban Trump, and it's not their place. And it's like, well, it had to be someone's place.
Yeah.
Like it was like
I know what you mean, but
the adults kind of took control.
O.J. Simpson has Twitter.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, what they did, they
Peter
banned
has
him
Twitter.
so he couldn't become president.
Yeah.
They banned him.
Yeah, of course, because they knew he was too good
They
on Twitter.
banned him because they're like, we're going to take his influence
He
away.
was the best thing on Twitter, and he's sorely missed on that. You
I
know?
know.
That's the thing. It's been shit since he left. I think he's back. Someone sent me a thing. I think it's real of him. Someone's written a kid's book called King Trump, and it's like £15. But it's a children's book about how he was tricked out of being president again.
That can't be real.
Yeah. I just find it. It's
I feel like that's a parody.
no. It's a real thing.
That's the thing with Trump. You can't tell what's real.
No. That's you never know what's going on. I'll have a look later on. Just Google Trump kids book. But yeah, it's. I think we have to go and invade Iraq, Bobby, to make this podcast more popular.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we should. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna use
I'm glad that you were
the
away.
donations from the Patreons, who we love very much.
Red's been away for 3 weeks, and he's had a lot to think about, and he's decided we're gonna use the patrons to try to start a new war in Iraq.
Yes, so we can come
An
back
insurgency.
and be public figures like Alistair Campbell, and start a popular podcast.
What's next?
I'll just quickly tell you the News of the World's tagline before we carry on. Arrived in 1843 as a broadsheet boasting that it was the novelty of the nation and wonder of the world, and claimed to offer rich man's journalism at a price suited to the poor.
Well, I mean,
That should be our pod strapline. Rich man's ideas for poor people. No, don't.
well, what's good about that is they did give really good journalism.
Mm.
If you take the phone hacking out of it, it's like
Yeah.
they got information nobody else was getting.
Yeah.
Like they got stories that were amazing,
Yeah.
but it was just illegal.
Yeah, that was the problem. And the thing is, those papers are a lot of fun. They're way more fun.
Of course, it's fun when you get to be in someone's house,
But the story's always
and
stupid.
hear things about people that they never wanted to be public.
Yeah, but it's always salacious, like affairs and stuff like that. And then the Guardian's like 10 reasons that you can't enjoy curry without, acknowledging your colonial past. And
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break, please. I just want to watch, some drama between an ex-footballer and some page 3 model.
Yeah,
It's, sometimes more fun,
I get it. So here's what I think we should just carry on in the Patreon episode, because I only have a babysitter for another hour and 15.
Of course, cool.
So here's what we're gonna do. We did it last week.
That you mean Harriet?
Yeah, my wife. I'm
Okay.
calling my wife a babysitter.
Okay,
So
fine.
we're gonna do what we did last week. Since we only got through like 2 stories, because me and Red ramble on. We'll carry this on in the Patreon episode. If you want to hear us talk more, and then we'll also do the regular Patreon episode in there.
Yeah, of course. And we got a lot coming up. There's an Afghan airline flight that crashes into a house by Gatwick Airport.
You're saying it like we're actually going to describe the story well. We're not. We're just going to talk a bunch of shit.
Well, there's Gaddafi, there's the Zodiac Killer, there's the Manson family, there's loads, okay? So tune in, sign up to Patreon. Thank you very much.
And thank you to Christopher and Matthew, our super genius Patreons.
And Saffron.
Nope, she went down a tier.
No. Well. That's thank you, Saffron. You're no longer a super genius. You're just a genius.
I don't even know what tier she's on now.
No, she might be on like
Whatever tier you're on is fine, Saffron. We appreciate.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And Christopher and Matthew, we appreciate. And we appreciate all of you.
Yeah, you're
no matter what
brilliant.
tier you're on, you're helping us.
And keep spreading the word. Tell your friends. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to an episode of The Year Is with me, comedian Bobby Mair, and my sometimes friend Red Richardson. This podcast has been produced by our brilliant producer, Jody VandenBurg. Thank you.